Introducing the all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus Hybrid.
Guys, it's May the 18th, 2024. Once again, it's May the 18th, 2024. And yep. Clothes, well, some of my clothes, I guess some of my clothes are getting washed, obviously. But yeah, I just had to check it. I just remembered I placed some of my laundry in there. But anyway, yeah, it's May the 18th of 2024. Once again, it's May the 18th of 2024. And this is Shawn, Dexter, John again. Once again, it's always me. I'm the only person who's actually communicating and publishing these video recording, this series of video recordings on my publications as Shawn Dexter John, aka Khaled Sundiata Hassan, but essentially it says Shawn Dexter John, and that's my authentic identity. I was born Shawn Dexter John in the Commonwealth of Dominica in 1985 officially, and I am an American citizen by every definition of the word citizen. You know, formally, nominally, culturally, via nurture, documentation-wise, history-wise, and everything else. Okay, so yeah. So I'm gonna have to write another work paper again today. I'm certainly gonna write another work paper. I haven't stopped writing, and I'm pretty sure it's been 6 months. At this particular point, I've written at least one work paper or a work report, at least one a day for about 6 months now. I've had each and every one of them published for the most part. I'm pretty sure of it. So once again, I've published a work paper or a work report, at least one every day for the past 6 months, over the past 6 months, and even beyond that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that. Even beyond that, and I'm not speaking of one, page per my legal article. My legal article, Americana: The New Society's Concepts and Political Apperceptions of an Eastern Caribbean Model of Commonality. I finished that up in 2022. You know, early to mid 2022. I'm pretty sure of. Obviously, I'm pretty sure of that. You know, so yes, but I've published a work paper or work. Obviously, I've published a work paper or a work report on a daily basis, at least one a day, over the past 6 months. You know, and even beyond that. And that's the truth. And they said, what's a work paper? A work paper is a policy paper in reference to the Central Intelligence Agency. I got to let the cars drive past, okay? I got to let the cars drive past. Okay, so once again, ever since November, I've published one work paper or work report with the Central Intelligence Agency as a contractor, as a managing contractor of the Central Intelligence Agency over the past 6 months, without a pause, without a day break at all. And at times I actually published multiple work papers or work reports, or work papers and or work reports. You know, so, and that's the truth. And what's a work paper? Once again, I'm going to have to define this for you guys. I'm going to have to explain what I mean by work paper. A work paper is a policy paper in reference in the Central Intelligence Agency and INTERPOL as a partnership, now nominalizing a bit more officially. You know, so essentially what I provide in the work papers are legal and political tenets, or an explanation of the principle or the principles of the respective subject that I'm focused on that within that particular work paper. Okay, so the work paper essentially this is what I've provided consistently over the past few weeks, and even before then, and certainly before then, and not just periodically but consistently, legal and political tenets or political and legal tenets of the respective concentration of policy. You know, so these actually are official policies of the Central Intelligence Agency moving forward. They will be officialized and documented as being of this particular stature. Okay? So at times I do not state that it's that what I'm providing forth in the title or even within the context of the content of the respective work paper that these are legal and political tenets. But it's clearly they are, you know? And they're not just political philosophy. They're not even just philosophy at all. They're not philosophy at all. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I want you guys to know this. It keeps saying that these are just political philosophy papers. No, they are not. Those are not university papers. Those are not political philosophy papers. They are not. They are work papers and they are work reports. And the legal article is essentially, technically, officially, competently, and clearly a legal article based on jurisprudence, based on law and government and policy. Okay? They better be shut down. I want you guys to quit. Stop saying that Barack Obama is a better candidate for world president and we want to have a world government in 10 or 20 years or even in 2 years. No, Karine Jean-Pierre, you shut the fuck up. No. He's not competent enough. He speaks well, but he's just not qualified to be able to do what only I can do. You shut the fuck up, Karine Jean-Pierre. I'm not going to abuse you, but you shut the fuck up. You are uneducated. I gave you the ability to be able to speak well in front of the White House press room. That's it. You do not know what the fuck you were talking about because you know Barack Obama and Kamala Harris wants to kill me for not having been in my son's life like I haven't been in our child's life. Doesn't mean that's a reason to believe that Barack Obama is a great person. I've been all over the world having to rescue these particular women who I have children with, households all over the country and overseas who are coming over here to the state of Florida. I have had a lot of work to do. I've audited the United States, Canada, the Caribbean. I've audited all countries all over the world under various aliases. I've had a lot of work to do to save the United States of America, to save my children's happiness. Okay, and I'm just getting started, but this time around, everyone is going to move to the state of Florida with me. Okay, my households. Okay? You guys are going to leave everything behind, and this time around, you guys are going to sacrifice for your country by helping train my children into being the first class of black operatives, agents, and auditors of the Central Intelligence Agency. You shut the fuck up. Barack Obama is not comparable to me. He's just not. I told you who I am. You know who I am. He's just not. He's going to fake his death on July 4th. And so is Kamala Harris. Okay? Do you guys understand? This is over. I make the decisions. I make the judgments. That's it. There's nothing else to consider. I'm so serious about this. Do you understand? This is 2024, okay? So this is not 1924, okay? They said, but Barack Obama feels so belittled. You have a kid with Kamala Harris, and he believes that you made every decision in the White House. What the fuck was the point of him being the first black president if you made all of the decisions? And every decision that he's ever made, it had to wait on your confirmation or your affirmation. Karine, I don't have time to ponder on these kinds of sentiments or these sort of inquiries. I don't have time for that. I've explained in my work papers, my legal article, and my work reports. Okay? I've explained all of that. Okay? I'm qualified, solely qualified. exclusionarily qualified to make all of the decisions which are fundamental, core, or essential to the function of the United States government and the United Nations. That's my job in being God, in being Jesus Christ. I honestly am Jesus Christ. It's not a position. I am Jesus Christ. I died on the cross 2,000 years ago. I created the universe a long time ago. I'm from the higher universe. It's my job to take care of my universe. And I am God over the higher universe also. I really am. I am supreme intelligence and central intelligence. I really am. I'm tired of having to explain this to you guys. Okay? Barack Obama is competent. He's exceptional when it comes to everyone on the planet, except me. Okay? I made him. I trained him to be as competent as he is. I trained him. Okay? I want you guys to know that that's honestly the truth. I did write the ACA. I honestly did write it. I wrote the ACA. I'm not going to have to explain where I wrote it, but I did. Okay? And I allowed him to explain what he wanted out of the ACA based on what he read within it. And I said, essentially what I communicated to him is that based on what he wanted to do with the healthcare system, this is what I've provided to him. You can do it. It's almost indecipherable to the other congressmen and women and the federal agents who were reviewing it, trying to figure out what the fuck is it saying. It's not allowing us to say no to Barack. We're going to have to say yes to Obamacare. And that's one step toward universal health care. And we're pretty sure that's what Shawn is going to do as president of the United States of America, or if he's crazy enough, the first president of the world. Okay? So I responded to your needs when I wrote the ACA. And it seems computer generated. But all my computers in heaven, when I say, well, I need it unbreachable or uncontestable by instigators and so forth. So it's going to be technically correct. This is what I said. It's going to be technically correct. It's going to be comprehensible. It's going to be literate, obviously. But it's just going to be too convoluted and too constitutionally backed to be contested by the Republicans. They're just going to have to say yes to Obamacare because it provides that universal health care is just based on general welfare, the general welfare clause, or not even clause, but well, you can say that. But the general welfare as a philosophy of the United States of America, honestly, and not just in the Constitution, but culturally. Okay, it's supported by the Constitution, the textual Constitution of the United States, and in support of that, the culture of the United States. So I said yes to it. Okay, I allowed him to decide what he wanted out of it without me bothering him at all. Okay? And when Mitt Romney said that he created the model in Massachusetts, when he said he created the model in his home state or his political state, or the state of his former governorship, I allowed him to say that just to make sure that Barack Obama won the 2 terms that he won. It was a trick play. Mitt Romney had nothing to do with the healthcare system in his state when he was governor. He remembers. He said yes to it, but he does not remember ever inspiring it or ever having come up with it. He just knows all he knew was that this is Barack Obama's idea, and we want to implement it in our sort of way here in this particular state, so he will never be able to claim anything. And I allowed Mitt Romney to do so just to give Barack Obama the victory of Obamacare. And Obamacare is going to remain part of the United States system, a universal healthcare system we're going to create in a very complex form forever, moving forward for the next 500 years, conceivably. Okay, so this was well thought out. But anyway, we're going to have universal and standard healthcare here in the United States of America. And Obamacare is just going to be one feature, one option within that universal healthcare system. I've explained that to you guys in one of my commentaries, which evolved into a work paper. I allowed you guys to see the evolution of that particular work paper and some references within other work papers. I'm pretty sure of it. Okay, so that's what it is. Obamacare is going to be a fundamental and a core feature or attribute or option within the universal healthcare system we are creating for the United States of America. And yes, And yes, yes, we are going to create. We're going to open up the borders between Canada and the United States in 2 to 3 years. We are honestly going to do so. It's going to be official and it's going to be clear as day that this is what it is. We are opening the borders between the United States and Canada, and for residents and citizens alike of both Canada and the United States. Okay, and so Canada will be able to help instigate or instigate the argument or debate toward bona fide and standard universal health care, which will allow the system of the United States of America itself semi-universal when it comes to health care, bona fide. It'll be everyone, no matter what your income, will be able to get free insurance if they decide to, as an option, no matter what their income. Everyone will be able to get subsidized Obamacare hosted healthcare services, health insurance services. Everyone will be able to have some sort of private insurance that's customized and supported or subsidized or backed by the universal healthcare system. So that's why it's a unique system, but the whole world is going to eventually get to the point of saying that, yeah, we want to sort of implement it within our system. Canada is going to get to the point of saying, yeah, having private insurance companies or having health insurance companies, that's not a bad idea as being predominant, not predominant, as being certainly not predominant. We are not going to have private health insurance companies being predominant in Canada or the United States or anywhere else into the future. We are done with that. But it being some sort of option for everyone, poor, middle class, or wealthy, is viable. And it's prudent to say that it is viable. And it should be an option for every American and every other person in the world. And we're going to focus on America naturally. So yeah, I'm going to write a work paper today. Okay? It's going to be a work paper. It's not going to be a work report. And I need to make note of this. Some of the work papers, they do not present political tenets or legal tenets of any particular issue within the titular reference of the work paper. So once again, the work papers are not all titled political tenets of this or legal. Okay. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I do have my second phone. Okay, yeah, just call me back later on. I promise you, I'll be able to call you guys back. Okay? Just call me back later on. If you don't, I'll call you guys back. That's what I meant. But you can call me. I can see that you guys call me, and then I'll call you guys back if I don't answer. I promise. Okay? All right. But yeah, so guys, some of my work papers, they are titled the political tenets of this and that, or the legal tenets of this and that. And some are titled the legal and political tenets of this and that. And some are just not titled that at all. Some are simply more so commentary-like. Not even commentary. Now, certainly not even commentary. They started out as commentary-like. But when I provided what was classified before into the the foundation of the commentary, or the foundation, purported as a commentary, when I added what was classified, what I had hidden into my commentaries, they became work papers. Okay, most are enumerated points, legal and political tenets, via, enumerated points articulating this particular policy of the United States government via the Central Intelligence Agency and INTERPOL. So a lot of the work papers are legal and political tenets of this and this and that, or legal tenets of this and this and that, or political tenets of this and this and that, or some are just literally just work papers communicating on a particular policy a bit more intellectual, or not even academic, but a bit more intellectual than just merely legal and political, or legal. Oh my God, these cars are not going to stop passing by. I know it's quite early in the morning, and that's when everyone is driving to work or driving to wherever they need to drive to for the day errands. But it's a bit annoying sometimes. Okay, guys. So some of my work papers are not going to say legal and political tenets of this and this and that, or political and legal tenets of this and this and that. And some are not going to have enumerated points, but they're certainly going to articulate and communicate what ought to be communicated about that particular policy topic, what has become official policy of the United States government via the Central Intelligence Agency and INTERPOL. So that's what I was trying to say, okay? The cars were interrupting my monologue because sometimes when I do a review some of these video recordings, I realize that the cars actually are louder on the video recordings, and then they appeared while I was doing my monologue. So that's the reason why I pause so often when I hear cars or whatever else approaching. But anyway, that's what I was trying to say to you guys on that particular issue. So when I say that I do have over almost 400 work papers, work reports, the legal article, Americana, the New Societies, and the original book sketch, the New Societies itself, the original book sketch, unedited and incomplete, but it was clearly deceptive for the right purpose. It clearly hid what I was going to do with the legal article itself, the 204 pages of complete genius, intellectually stimulating information. So once again, I'm going to have to communicate this to you guys. I have almost 400 intellectual works published. Okay, almost 400 at this particular point. If you look on script.com, you can. If you look at my account profile, you'll see that I've gotten to about 385 published work reports, work papers, the legal article, meaning Americana, the New Societies, Concepts and Political Apperceptions of an Eastern Caribbean Model of Commonality, and a few documents, you know. So I'm almost sure about 375 of the work papers, and 375 of the publications or work papers, work reports, and the legal article, and about 10 of them are documents and supplements and so forth. I'm pretty sure of this. So you can see everything on script.com, and you can also see everything on, well, not everything, you're going to see much of it on my LinkedIn account profile, and you're going to see damn near everything other than the work reports on my blog, ShawnDexterJohn.wordpress.com. And you're going to see most of everything on my Facebook account documented and stored as JPG files alongside Instagram and Twitter. Also as JPG files, the documentation and storage of my publications so you can see it, over the internet, on the web. And I do have it privately documented and stored in my email accounts. I do have private offices, affiliated with the Central Intelligence Agency, also documenting everything. And I do have Central Intelligence Agency nominal offices, formal offices, and INTERPOL offices actually storing and documenting each and every one of my publications, and not toward my detriment or toward any sort of ill cause, in all honesty. Okay, so I was not joking around. I was not joking around about anything. I'm not giving my papers away. They said, how can a person fly around the world, have so many children? At this particular point, I have over 3,000 children. I'm almost sure of it. Certainly, I'm approaching that. This is what I've explained, the classified information, which I temporarily declassified. Okay, I'm going to have to go further on that. This is what I've tried to declassify a bit cautiously. Okay, I have over 3,000 children at this particular point. Okay, or approaching that. I certainly have in the thousands. Biological and genetic children fathered by me specifically, via my body and that of the respective women, conventionally speaking, via sexual intercourse. These are women who were caught in abusive conditions, relationships, who were forced into abusive conditions, whether in government, whether in regular society, whether in this industry or that, and this and this and that. And when they reached out, when they went to church, when they went to government offices and this and that, and they just couldn't get around some of the protocols of the respective government, we stepped in, and I'm usually the person who steps in, and I identify these particular individuals, the women, and they are okay with that situation. I'm okay with that situation. I know for a fact I can bring all of them here to the state of Florida, South Florida primarily, to serve as the CIA training ground for my children to be the first class of black CIA operatives, agents, auditors, and analysts. Truly, the federal government's policy on barring black agents and auditors and analysts is secret. The folks who they hired as black analysts and auditors and agents, they are just not agents and auditors and analysts to the Central Intelligence Agency, to the core of the Central Intelligence Agency, which are predominantly predominantly white, obviously. And it's not a secret that is multicultural, multiracial. That's not a secret because it's not true. Let's just accept that. That's why we're here on this planet. Let's accept that. That's enough. That's enough. Okay? These women just happen to be from a higher dimension, and they just happen to be my daughters in heaven. They're the mothers of my royal children in heaven, trained operatives, trained to be able to help me take Earth to the next paradigm via government and industry. We've been doing this for 10,000 years. They are always the ones who always show up in the system as being abused and begging for help. Trained to go to church and ask for help, or to be able to communicate their awful conditions. They always end up being identified as angels undercover. My wives in heaven. I am Jesus Christ, and they are my wives. Okay? And they're dreaming into this world with me from my executive city of God and angels, from my executive palace in the higher dimension, the second dimension. Created for security purposes. Okay, that's the secret. Okay. So they signed up to be able to save Earth this way by complaining about government abuse and societal abuse, by just finding their way into this situation which appeared to have been automated. And it's horrible that we've had to go through a lot of pain to get to this particular point of no longer having to endure misery, but just having to be very conservative and very mindful and very modest in training our children toward doing the right thing for Earth and its population. Okay, so how do I know who is who? It's because everyone has a soul serial number. We cover it up with a social security number and social insurance number and this and that. But every soul has a soul serial number, and so it's identifiable by us in heaven. We have quantum computers which actually control the universe, bigger than the whole universe itself. When I'm in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, I'm literally huger than the whole universe. So we know each and every person's soul serial number. So whichever body whichever host body they're in is easily identifiable by us in heaven. Whatever we communicate to the governments here on Earth, we communicate to the governments here on Earth. They are not the one who are actually verified and who are actually creating soul serial numbers or any of that. They just lied about that, But we anticipated that. Okay. So. Okay, guys, so I'm not the fake Shawn, Dexter, John, okay? I'm just not at all. If you guys have seen me in the past, in the future, and the present at the same time, don't be confused with the government's... Okay, I'm going to have to explain this to you guys.
Your time can help if you know the person who gave Courtney that gift. Or, if it's you, email me.
Yes, I did give Courtney Anderson the gift that I did give her, okay? They just covered that up on the television. But anyway...
That is
I'm
our
not
show.
joking
Hope it
around.
brightened your day. Hope it lifted you up. If for some reason it didn't, rerun.
So, okay, so I just want them to know that. I don't want to get in trouble at all, but yeah. We've had people in government simulations, very high technology, a new age technology, which allows people to see me in the past and see me in the present and see me in future projections of what computer algorithms guarantee is the future, at least within a 10-year frame. It's a technology from above, and sometimes people got confused when they saw me at different locations at the same time, especially in in government simulations that they are not aware extend beyond government offices and so forth. They're always fooled into being completely confused at times to the technology until they are briefed, and then they realize, okay, so we understand. It's impossible to be able to get around God and heaven. When you work for government, you stick to doing the right thing and nothing else. Don't trust anything else, just do the right thing and believe in the law as enacted by Congress and whatever higher legislature emerges, including obviously the United Nations General Assembly, and including it as the World Congress in 20 years when it becomes a bit more nominalized as part of the world government we are going to incept in 20 years, in 2044. Okay? So that's what I meant. So some of the folks who enter into these simulations, they are unaware to what a simulation is. They're just shocked that there are magical things that can happen in nature, and then they figure it out that it's a simulation and stuff. That God does not want folks being able to do whatever they want. So whenever they do need to see what God can do, it's always within the simulation of what nature can be manipulated to do. Okay, it's always training, and it takes a while for them to process the information and figure out what a simulation is and figure out that what they are seeing appears to be real, but it isn't real at all times. Okay, it's top secret information, declassified temporarily. All of these video recordings will be removed by the end of this year, 2024, I promise you. I'm not a crazy person, I'm not schizophrenic, I just had to reveal that to you guys. Okay? Good morning. How are you, sir? Yeah, I do realize. Okay, I'm listed as 39 years old officially. I do look younger, but yeah, I'm authentic in saying that I'm Shawn Dexter. Okay. All right.